Alright guys, we were hit with a nerf hammer for season 15. Few builds survived thanks to the soul splinters. Druid was hit repeatedly, while Warlock was handing all-inclusive access to the endgame. So in this video I will cover the best build for every class and the best overall for the endgame. I will go class by class, display one or two top builds, and then explain the best three. There is a lot to cover, so I must go fast through all the content. You can pause the video or slow it down if you need to copy everything. So let's start with the Barbarian. As every other class, Barbarian has also been nerfed significantly, but it has a really good synergy with the new Soul Splinters, so the nerf is not as bad as Blizzard was probably hoping to be. Now you can see on the screen, we went from pit 150 to 146. Rob did it with the charge barb that you can see on your screen. So feel free to look at this build and copy it. The charge survived somewhat, and the whirlwind survived. We'll go over the whirlwind build in a second here. But you can see what Rob is using. So yeah, I would recommend, if you want to use the charge, to use his build. Barbarian, whirlwind Barbarian is still immortal. It's still one-shotting everything in the end game. Probably the best farming build that we have for season 15, as previously season 14. I recommend it to everyone as always. I will probably play it after I tried a few Warlock builds. It's good for pits 130 farming as well. As you can see on your screen, it's smashing everything and it's killing the boss pretty fast. Again, we are immortals, so you don't have anything to worry about. The gameplay is very easy, one click. This is the build, that's the gear. We are going with the new Leoric crown. Things to remember: you can't have health on any of your items, you can't have health on your paragon boards. Try to stack 100% chance for critical strike and as much critical strike damage. Not sure if the polearm works in season 15 or not, so maybe go with a two-handed sword expertise or something like that. The paragon board is unchanged pretty much, as are the skills. We're using whirlwind, then we are going with all the shouts for additional damage, reduction, survivability, etc. Of course, make sure to put as much points in Warcry as you can, and as ultimate we are going with the Wrath of the Berserker. The paragon board looks pretty much the same as season 14. Just copy the one that I have here. Make sure Twister is on the second board. You're gonna need it from the start. It's your damage. And also make sure that you put Wrath and Marshal. So yeah, it's very similar to season 14. I don't even have listed reinforcements yet, but I'm using Reinhardt for resistance and for some damage. You can use Variana as reinforcement. We are still going with the Crucible set, as in previous season, resources and skill points, and we are going, you can use the Endurant Fate for full immortality or something else for damage like what I was using there. Necromancer will be more or less on the same level as in the current season. Now, most players on the PTR were using the minions build. It's doing really good. There were a couple with the Blood Wave and Mist builds, but majority was testing and using minions. There are a lot of different variations of the build. Everybody was testing something different. Some people were going with more unique charms, some people with two sets. So I guess it's PTR, so people were testing, but you can copy that build from your screen. I think it's pretty good. Sorcerer also got nerfed about 6-7 levels. Firewall Pyromancy restrictions didn't change the build a lot, so it's still probably the best for the Sorcerer for the end game. And now you can see a variation of that build on the screen. Like I said, on the PTR, people are experimenting with a lot of stuff, but you can use these builds as a baseline when you start season 15. Also, after the changes to Constellation and the Enchantment Master, Prismatic Familiar and Hydra, the Frigid Hydra enchantment, are options now as well. You can see on this build here on your screen. So it's more than one option. I like this. I'm a fan of Hydra. I used to play this build quite a lot in the beginning, and it's good to see a little bit of a comeback. But yeah, Sorcerer has also been nerfed quite a lot. He's barely pushing pits 140. This will improve, of course, in the live game, but for now on the PTR, they were at about pit 140 comparing to pit 148, 149 last season. So yeah, use one of these builds. Maybe try the Hydra one and see how that goes. It seems like an interesting build to try, so you don't have to play the same build again. Rogue, also nerfed, but only few levels. Penetrating Shot and Dance of Nice are actually performing very well in Season 15. Now, most players on the PTR were using some kind of combination of these skills, but both cold and poison versions of Rain of Arrows are still okay to some extent. Although I do recommend the Penetrating Shot and Death of Night combinations. I think they will be the best for Season 15. Yeah, and you can just copy this build that I have on the screen. All right, now Druid. Druid has been hit the hardest. Like, the bugs have been fixed and the storm set is capped. So most people don't even use for the 5 bonus anymore. You see these guys using 3 charms. So it's about 10 levels, if not more, below from what it was. Shred and Raven are still viable options. You know, people have been experimenting with different variations. I will show you 2 builds so you can try, like this one on the screen, and the next one will be the Shred. But unless they change something, and I really hope they do, Druid is not going to be very good for next season. I really hope they, I don't know, make some additional changes for Druid, because right now it's struggling in pits 130. Maybe we'll be able to go to pit 140 in the live season, but yeah, it's not nearly good enough, especially considering how everybody was crashing pit 150 in season 14. Now, Spiritborn has also been hit hard, at least 7-8 levels. Everybody online says that the Swarm is not going to be the best option, but I think it is. Most players on the PTR are still using some kind of version of this build with different sets and charm combinations. I know the 5-set piece, there was something wrong with it, but like this guy you see is using 3 unique charms. Again, people have been experimenting a lot on the PTR. So these are not the final builds, but like I said, you can use them as a baseline. Paladin has been nerfed even more, guys, if that was even possible. Not sure why they are doing this to the Paladin players. They must hate this class for some reason. You know, by far the worst next season, I think. I guess Shield Charge for general play and Blessed Shield for pit pushing. And you can try maybe Oradin, but I wouldn't expect that much. I really hope they change something with the Paladin. I mean, this is getting really ridiculous. And of course, we have the king of the season, Warlock. Pit 150, not a problem. Boss is not a problem. Endgame, not a problem. All the builds are good. They're all similar. I'm going to show you the farming build and I'm going to show you the pit pushing build. But like I said, they are all very similar, using the same fire damage, similar gear, similar Paragon board, and Vanguard shard. There are several combinations of farming you can use even without crit strength, with chance with bombardment, or the Abaddon Fiend. This is the build for the farming. You will see that the difference between this one and the next that I'm going to show you for the pit pushing, it's similar. Now you can change your weapons if you don't have Echoing Fury for elite damage. You can use some normal weapons. That's the set. This one doesn't belong there. I just didn't have anything to put. Just stack up skill damage, I guess, as much as you can. Now, when it comes to skills and paragons, This is the setup that I'm using. Like I said, you will see when we do the pit pushing next, it's a similar, very similar setup on both builds. So this is the best thing about Warlock. You can start with the good builds from beginning. And there is only few small changes that you have to do to transition between farming build and the pit pushing build. So it's really good for casual players especially. Now you can start the season with it and then just continue until the end. It's really good from start to finish. Like I said, few skill changes and Paragon board and few items, nothing too significant. Just make sure to stack up critical strike chance as much as you can. It needs to be close to 100 and a little bit of critical strike damage. And if you can, put some vulnerable damage on your gear as well. So yeah, this is the build for pit pushing. There will be a little bit of change in gear. We are still using the Lowry Crown. Some of the items, especially the weapon, I think. The weapon is changing and some of the other stuff, but it's very similar to the farming build. And we have the same amulet as well. So the builds are very, very similar, guys. They're using, like I said, same fire damage, same shards. The weapon is different, but everything else is very, very similar. To make it from farming to pit pushing, it's so much easier. So if you are starting next season and you want to try Warlock, it's very fun. Please do so. The shards are the same, only you are using the first on the farming and the third fragment on the pit pushing. That's the only difference there. These are the skills that you can use. And we'll go quickly of the Paragon board, which again, it's very similar because it's Hellfire skills, it's demon skills, greater demons. So the Paragon nodes are almost the same. And that makes it so good because you don't have to spend a lot of time learning 2 different, 3 different, 5 different builds, changing your Paragon boards or skill too much or your gear. It is all extremely very similar and so easy to use and so easy to make from the start of the game. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Those are the strongest builds for all 8 classes based on the Season 15 PTR. If you want the best farming options, Warlock and Barbarian are clearly ahead. Fast, powerful, extremely difficult to kill. For the leaderboard and pit pushing, Warlock is the strongest overall by far. It's easiest to make and play, so I do recommend it to casual players who are struggling with the end game. And it will really make your gameplay much, much easier from the start to the finish. Anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you did. And let me know if you have any questions or comments. And I will see you all in the next one. All right, guys. Ciao for now. Bye.